What if I told you that one of the most important global competitions today is not about military power, not about skyscrapers, not about billionaires, not even about technology, but about happiness, real happiness, the kind that affects how long people live, how safe they feel, how stressed they are, how much they trust each other, how they raise children, how they handle money, how they experience life itself. And every year, the world watches one country dominate this conversation again and again. A country with freezing winters, high taxes, long dark nights, and a population smaller than many major cities. Yet somehow, this nation repeatedly ranks as one of the happiest countries on Earth. And when New Zealanders look at this country, something fascinating happens. Because many Kiwis start asking difficult questions. If New Zealand is already considered one of the world's best countries to live in, then why are some Nordic nations still ranking even higher in happiness? What are they doing differently? And could New Zealand eventually become the happiest country in the world? In this video, we are going deep into the global happiness race from a New Zealand perspective. We will explore why Nordic countries dominate happiness rankings, why money alone does not create happiness, what New Zealand gets right, what New Zealand struggles with, the surprising science behind national happiness, why safety and trust matter more than luxury, the role of healthcare, family, culture, and work-life balance, why young people globally are becoming less happy, why social media may be damaging entire societies, and the shocking truth about what actually creates a happy nation. Because the answers may completely change how you think about success, migration, society, and even your own future. Now here's the first thing that surprises many people. The world's happiest countries are not always the richest countries. Yes, wealth matters. But after a certain point, happiness becomes much more connected to stability, trust, social support, health, safety, and quality of life. And this is exactly why Nordic countries continue dominating global happiness rankings year after year, especially Finland. Finland has repeatedly held the #1 position globally for happiness. And many people around the world cannot understand why. Because when they imagine happiness, they imagine beaches, luxury, celebrities, and endless sunshine. But Finland offers a completely different model of happiness. Quiet stability, strong social trust, low corruption, excellent public services, high safety, nature access, good work-life balance, and a society where many people feel supported instead of constantly struggling to survive. Now, this becomes incredibly interesting when viewed from New Zealand, because New Zealand already shares many qualities associated with happier societies: beautiful natural environment, relatively relaxed culture, strong outdoors lifestyle, democratic stability, lower corruption compared to many countries, friendly social interactions, and a global reputation for quality of life. But New Zealand also faces major pressures that affect happiness levels. And this is where the comparison becomes fascinating. Let's talk about housing first. Because housing stress is one of the biggest happiness destroyers globally. New Zealand has experienced severe housing affordability pressures over recent years, especially in Auckland and other major urban areas. Young people increasingly struggle with homeownership, rent costs remain extremely high, and financial pressure creates stress across generations. Now compare this with Nordic countries where, although taxes are higher, many citizens receive stronger social support systems, housing assistance, public services, childcare support, and social infrastructure. This creates a different psychological environment. People may feel more secure about their future. And security plays a massive role in happiness. Now here comes something extremely important. The happiest countries are usually high-trust societies. This is huge. In high-trust societies, people generally believe institutions function properly. Police are fair, healthcare works, government systems are relatively stable, corruption is lower, and people are less likely to constantly fear being exploited. This changes daily life dramatically. Imagine living in a society where people generally trust each other, where losing your wallet might actually result in it being returned, where people feel safe walking alone, where public systems mostly work. That creates lower stress levels across society, and New Zealand actually performs relatively strongly in many of these areas compared to much of the world. This is one reason many migrants move to New Zealand despite the higher cost of living. Because quality of life is not only about money, it is about emotional environment. Now let's talk about another major factor, work-life balance. This is one of the biggest reasons Nordic countries score so highly. People there often value balance more than extreme hustle culture. Long vacations, parental leave, family time, nature access, reasonable working hours, and increasingly, New Zealanders are also questioning the traditional work until exhaustion lifestyle, especially younger generations. Many people now prioritize mental health, flexible work, remote work, lifestyle quality, family time, and emotional well-being over pure career obsession. And honestly, this shift is happening globally because millions of people watched hyper-competitive lifestyles create burnout, anxiety, loneliness, and mental exhaustion. Now here comes something surprising. One of the strongest predictors of happiness is not income. It is social connection. People with strong family relationships, friendships, community support, and emotional belonging often report significantly higher happiness levels. And this becomes especially interesting in New Zealand culture. Kiwis often value community, friendliness, informal social culture, outdoor activities, sports culture, family connection, and social openness. But there are also growing concerns. Loneliness is increasing globally. Social isolation is rising. Digital addiction is rising. And younger generations in many countries report worsening mental health despite technological advancement. This creates a strange contradiction. The world is more connected digitally than ever before. But emotionally, many people feel more disconnected than ever. Now let's talk about nature, because this matters far more than most people realize. The happiest countries often have strong connections to natural environments. Finland has forests and lakes everywhere. New Zealand has mountains, beaches, forests, hiking trails, and extraordinary scenery. And researchers increasingly believe access to nature improves mental well-being significantly. People living near green spaces often report reduced stress and better emotional health. And this may partially explain why New Zealand continues attracting migrants seeking lifestyle improvement instead of just financial gain. Now let's discuss healthcare, because happiness is deeply connected to health security. People feel happier when they believe they can access medical care without catastrophic financial destruction. Nordic countries heavily invest in healthcare systems. New Zealand also provides public healthcare systems that many countries around the world simply do not have at comparable levels. But New Zealand still faces pressure. Hospital wait times, healthcare staffing shortages, mental health system challenges, rural healthcare access issues, and these concerns directly affect societal well-being. Now let's talk about one of the most misunderstood topics globally: why rich countries can still have unhappy people. This shocks many people because some extremely wealthy societies suffer from depression, isolation, burnout, addiction, low trust, overwork, consumer pressure, and emotional emptiness. This proves something important. Human happiness is not purely material. After basic needs are met, emotional and social factors become incredibly powerful. Meaning, belonging, purpose, security, relationships, trust, health. These things matter enormously. Now here comes a major issue affecting happiness globally: social media. This may be one of the biggest psychological experiments in human history. Entire generations now compare themselves constantly against curated online lifestyles. Luxury travel, perfect bodies, fake success, influencer culture, endless comparison. And many psychologists believe this constant comparison damages mental well-being, especially among younger people. New Zealand is not immune to this. Neither are Nordic countries. In fact, many advanced countries now face rising anxiety and mental health concerns among youth despite high living standards. Which raises an uncomfortable question. If modern technology keeps advancing, why are so many people still unhappy? And this is where the global happiness conversation becomes incredibly important, because it forces societies to ask deeper questions. What actually makes life worth living? Now let's talk about safety. This is one area where New Zealand historically performed very strongly internationally. Many Kiwis grew up with relatively high levels of public safety compared with much of the world. And safety creates emotional freedom. People can relax more. Parents worry less. Communities feel calmer. But New Zealand has also seen growing public conversations around crime, youth offending, gang issues, retail crime, and social pressures. And perceptions of safety strongly affect happiness. Even when statistics become politically debated, public emotional perception matters enormously. Now let's discuss migration, because many people worldwide see New Zealand itself as a happiness destination. For migrants coming from overcrowded cities, unstable governments, corruption, pollution, violence, or extreme pressure societies, New Zealand can feel emotionally transformative. Cleaner environment, slower pace, friendlier culture, more personal freedom, more nature access, and this creates an interesting global perspective. While New Zealanders compare themselves to Nordic countries, millions of people worldwide already view New Zealand as one of the dream lifestyle countries. That is an important perspective many locals sometimes forget. Now here comes another critical factor: economic inequality. Even happy countries can experience rising tension if inequality becomes too visible. If young people feel permanently locked out of opportunity, if living costs rise too fast, if wages fail to keep up, if home ownership becomes impossible, then happiness can decline even in otherwise beautiful societies. And this is one of the biggest long-term challenges for countries like New Zealand. Maintaining quality of life affordability. Because if ordinary people cannot afford ordinary life anymore, national happiness becomes harder to sustain. Now let's talk about culture. Nordic cultures often value modesty, social equality, and collective well-being. New Zealand culture traditionally values humility too. The relaxed Kiwi attitude, the outdoors lifestyle, the dislike of excessive arrogance. These cultural traits actually matter more than people realize, because societies shape emotional expectations. And cultures obsessed with endless competition often create more psychological pressure. Now here's the most important point in this entire video. The happiest country in the world is not necessarily perfect. Finland still has depression. New Zealand still has stress. Nordic countries still have problems. Every country has problems. The real question is not which country has zero problems. The real question is which societies create the best overall conditions for human well-being. And this is why the happiness rankings matter globally. They force governments, economists, businesses, and citizens to think beyond GDP, beyond money alone, beyond economic growth alone. Because what is the purpose of building wealthy societies if people remain exhausted, isolated, anxious, unhealthy, and emotionally disconnected? Now, from a New Zealand perspective, this conversation becomes incredibly important for the future. Because New Zealand stands at a crossroads. Can it maintain its lifestyle advantages while handling rising costs? Can it preserve social trust? Can it improve housing affordability? Can it strengthen healthcare? Can it protect mental well-being? Can it balance economic growth with quality of life? And if New Zealand solves these challenges successfully, it may not just remain one of the world's most admired countries, it could become one of the happiest places on earth, because in the end, the countries winning the future may not be the loudest, not the richest, not the most powerful, but the countries where ordinary people genuinely enjoy living their lives.